The fair king. The city of Andak was ruled by a very righteous king. He personally looked into the affairs of his people. He listened to their complaints and redressed them as well. People were free to visit his court whenever they wished. They could express themselves freely. One day, an old man came to the king's court. He was accompanied by his two blind sons. The king asked, "What brings you to the court?" The old man replied, "Your Highness, due to some unfortunate circumstances, I am leading a life of misery. But in a matter of time, I will regain my lost wealth. However, I would be highly obliged if you could lend me 1,000 gold coins. I will repay this loan as soon as I can." "And if you don't?" asked the king. The old man promptly replied, "I will leave my sons with you as guarantee." The old man continued, "Sir, my sons are blind, but they are gifted. They will serve you well." The king was surprised. He asked, "How can these blind sons of yours be of any service to me?" The old man replied, "Well, my elder son is an expert judge of horses, and my younger son can test any kind of jewel." The amazed king said, "But they are blind. How do they perform their tasks?" The old man replied, "They rely on their senses of smell and touch respectively to do their jobs. If you ever find any of them giving a wrong judgment, you may have them beheaded. You may also punish me after I have returned." The impressed king took the old man's word. He gave him the 1,000 gold coins he had asked for. He took the two blind sons into his service. The horse trader. Days went by. One day a horse trader came to the court to sell a horse to the king. The trader stated that the horse was of a good Arabian breed. He boasted that it was very faithful and a good runner. The king did not wish to buy the horse blindly, so he asked the blind son to check the horse. The blind son started examining the horse by touching and smelling it. This made the horse trader furious. He exclaimed, "What a strange way of checking a horse! And how can a blind man examine a horse? You had better stop this. It is nothing but a waste of my time as well as that of the king's." But the blind son calmly said to the king, "Your Majesty, please do not buy this horse. It might hurt you when you ride it." But the trader was angry at hearing this. The blind son's revelation. The king, on the other hand, thought about what the blind son said. Then he commanded, "Let a horse expert ride this horse." So an expert rider sat on the horse, but no sooner did he sit than the horse threw him off its back. The trader was stunned. He exclaimed, "The horse never behaves like that with me." The blind son replied, "What you say is true, but the fact is that this horse does not harm any milkman. Why did you give up your profession?" The horse trader gasped and asked, "How did you know that I was a milkman previously?" The blind son replied, "I found this out by smelling your horse. I could make out that it was born in your house. You fed it on a buffalo's milk. Its parents were also owned by you." The trader left the court along with his horse, amazed at the blind son's revelation. The jeweler. After a few days, a jeweler came to the king's court. He brought several precious stones and gems. The king liked the diamond. He gave it to the blind son and asked him to examine it. The blind son examined the diamond. He rubbed it between his palms several times. Then he said to the king, "Sir, the diamond is priceless, but it will be inauspicious for the one who wears it." The king asked, "Why do you say so?" The blind son replied, "Your Majesty, this diamond has taken the lives of at least 2 members of the jeweller's family." Hearing this, the jeweler felt ashamed of himself. He asked the king to forgive him. Then he left the court along with his gems and precious stones. A few days later, the old man came back. He repaid the coins he had borrowed. Then he asked the king for his sons. The king's justice. The blind sons came, and as the three were leaving, the king asked the old man, I have seen your son's talents. What is yours? The old man replied, I can tell the reality of a man. The king asked, Who am I? You are the son of a thief, replied the old man. The king was angry. He ordered the beheading of the old man and his two sons. As the story ended, Baital asked King Vikramaditya, Was the king justified in ordering the execution? Speak up or I will break your head into pieces. King Vikramaditya replied, No, the act was unjustifiable. The king really was the son of a thief, but the old man is to be blamed too. He should have realized what he was saying. Baital said, Your judgment is praiseworthy, but because you have spoken, I am going. Saying so, Baital flew away. King Vikramaditya drew his sword and went after Baital to catch him again. Thanks for watching the story.